Ahoy guys, and welcome back to I Like Our Watches 2. Now in this video, I think anyway, I'm going to be showing you an incredible JDM Citizen watch which I've imported from, well, not Japan, but from Spain. I first saw this watch on Chrono24. I fell in love with it straight away. I kept going back to Chrono24 to check out the prices, but then I noticed there's a website, watches111.com, and they were selling this watch brand new for significantly less than all the sellers on Chrono24 and less than sites like Sakura Watches and the Japan online store. So that's where I've ended up importing it from. I have paid import taxes because, well, the UK is no longer part of the European trade agreement. You know, we left Europe, didn't we? But anyway, it is an incredible watch, and in this video I just want to head over to the light box and show it to you for the very first time and show you a few features. But then in the long run, in the future, I'm planning to do a comparison with the Longines VHP because there's actually quite a lot of similarities between these two watches. They do very, very similar things, but they do them a little bit differently. So I think it would be good to do a bit of a technical run through on why these watches are similar, but also quite different, and they are priced very similarly as well. So look out for that video in the future. But for now, I'm just going to show you this watch over at the light box. It's gorgeous. Oh. Now, given the retail price for this watch in Japan is 121,000 yen, that equates to 715 British pounds. The packaging is a little bit understated, isn't it? But it does the job. Let me just show you what arrived in the box when it turned up from watches111.com. On Chrono24, this website is known as Perfu Watches. I'll put some links in the video description. So you can buy this watch from Chrono24 through this website or directly from the website. And I paid £550 plus import taxes, which equated to around 17-18%. So I still paid less than the £715 retail price, and that includes the import taxes. So yeah, I am very pleased well, with the watch. Yeah, the price not the cheapest, but the watch is absolutely gorgeous. Here's the hang tag then. I'm not sure why there's two prices, 121,000 or 110,000 yen, that there is the model number CB303076E. I think there's a few specifications on the inside. There you go, caliber H128. If you Google that, there is an online manual in English. And someone made a good point actually the last time I reviewed or looked at a JDM watch. They said, well, if these are truly JDM watches, why is a lot of stuff in English? And it's actually a really, really good point. Why make online manuals for these watches if they are intended purely for the Japanese domestic market? Anyway, if you know the answer, let me know. That is the range of watches, Attesa, and it seems to be a fairly upmarket, more expensive range of watches that Citizen does. And they all have something in common, which I will explain in a moment. Now, if you ever end up owning a Citizen Attesa, you're almost certainly going to need to make sure you own one of these, and I'll explain why in a minute. Yeah, and there it is, a beautiful, beautiful watch. I really did fall in love with the way this thing looks when I first saw it on Chrono24, and I've got to say, I am not at all disappointed now that it's in my hands. The build quality does feel very, very premium, and given the price tag, you'd expect it to be, wouldn't you? But yeah, it is a titanium watch, which I'm not thrilled about. I handed this to my brother when I first got it, and he thought it looked incredible, but as soon as he had it in his hand, well, he was just shocked at the weight. It is incredibly light. And both he and I tend to prefer stainless steel watches because of that little bit of weight that you get. It just makes the watches, I think anyway, feel a little bit more premium. But the finishing on this watch seems lovely. There are some fully polished facets on the bracelet, so you do get some lovely light play. A little bit of jangle, which you expect from titanium watches. And of course, this titanium material that they use is 5 times more scratch resistant than steel, apparently. So yeah, there are some upsides to it being titanium, but I'm just not a fan of that sort of dirty grey look, although it doesn't seem to put me off this watch because I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the sharp angles and facets on the end links and on the lugs, and just the whole case side profile looks pretty cool. Oh, there you go. That's why you're going to need the toothpick, because yeah, this watch is a quartz. It is a solar quartz, but it is a sort of smartwatch, which I think is the main drawback of this watch. I was a little bit gutted when I learnt that it is super accurate because it's connecting to towers all over the world and receiving a radio signal. A lot of you will love mechanical watches. I'm sure most of you watching my channel will love mechanical watches. Many of you will love quartz watches, and I'm sure a few more of you will love super high accuracy quartz watches. But watches that connect to towers, unless it's a G-Shock, I don't know, it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? But I really don't think there's any denying just how good this thing looks. And it is a new release, actually. It's not been out too long at all. Yeah, I think it looks fantastic. Right, I've got my toothpick handy, so let me just run through a few basic specifications. Now, I've already mentioned that this thing connects to those radio towers to pick up a signal, and you can tell whether or not it's getting that signal by just pressing this button at the 4 o'clock-ish position. Let me just press it. Now, there you go. It's saying no, it was connected to the radio towers shortly after I unboxed it, because I manually set it up and made it connect to the radio towers, and that adjusted the time. It's still keeping very, very accurate time, even though it's lost that connection with the radio towers, because, well, it is a quartz watch still. But actually pressing that button showed us something else. Actually, you'll see that the hand just rotated in a clockwise movement to show us that the watch is not connected to the radio towers. Had it turned in an anti-clockwise position to indicate its connectivity, that would have indicated that the battery is low. It is a solar watch, and you can sort of see the solar cell in the middle of the dial during the day outside a little bit. There's a very slight purpley hue to the dial on occasions, which I'm not a massive fan of, but yeah, on the whole, it's actually not that noticeable. Now, the watch does have a global time function, and to see which time zone the watch is set up to, you just pull the crown out to the first position, and the second hand does a little dance, and then it points to somewhere on the dial. If it's pointing to 12 o'clock, then it's set up to UK GMT time, which for me is correct. And you can adjust the time zone by basically moving the crown forwards and backwards. And there is a table in the online instruction manual which tells you where the second hand needs to be for each time zone. But I'm going to put it back to 12 o'clock because I live in the UK. And as you can see on the dial, there's also a daylight savings function. If you pull the crown out to the second position, again, the second hand will do a little dance, and then it will tell you whether or not that function is on or off. Now, with regards to all the technical functions, I'm going to leave it there for now because I do want to save some stuff for the comparison video with the Longines VHP, but I do want to show you this clasp. I think it's probably one of the best clasps I've ever seen. It is milled on the inner elements. The outer shell is pressed, but it's quite small and discreet. Looks like there's no micro adjusts, doesn't it? But if you press the double pushers, you've got 3 micro adjustment settings, if you like, all set up inside the clasp, and it's been done so nicely. The clasp is really, really small and thin. And usually when a clasp has this sort of internal sliding function, it seems to add a lot of size and weight to the clasp, but not on this one. I think every watch should have one of these. That's awesome, isn't it? And I use it a lot because, well, I have been enjoying this watch, I must admit, and I've worn it quite a bit. So yeah, very, very cool. Right, guys, I think that's enough of an introduction to this brand new release by Citizen, and I look forward to running through more technical specifications and just overall specifications when I do the comparison with the Longines VHP. Let me know what you think of this watch in the comments section. Definitely looks good, but yeah, I think it would be another level if it contained, I don't know, a Miyota 9000 series automatic movement. I think that would be incredible. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section, guys. Always enjoy reading your comments, right? Thanks for watching. You'll see me again very, very soon.